Hey guys, it is Maista. If you guys don't know who I am a game developer on Roblox. I like to do all of the things. I like to script and 3D model and paint and build all of the goodies that you get to do on the Roblox platform. Today I'm going to be sharing some updates on my side project called the Sandbox place. There have been various challenges with deciding on the direction of environment art that we're going for, but we eventually figured out. I'm pretty proud of where we are so far, but let's get started. So for our UI system, what I added was a scrolling functionality because before you could only really use the items that you saw in front of your screen. Otherwise, they would just go off the screen. I didn't program that functionality yet. But now we have buttons that allow you to go left and right, and it works like that. The way that this system works is we have this function here called get horizontal scroll amount. And with this, we get the absolute window size of the item contents frame, which is this little guy right here. And then we subtract the item button size from that so that every time we scroll, we start with the item that was last in the list as the first in the list, which just feels good to me. So then we have two functions for scrolling left and scrolling right. And for the scroll left, we want to make sure that we never go less than 0 in the position. So we're doing those checks in here, and then if everything is all good, we tween it to the left. And then we update the scrolling buttons, which in there, what happens is we decide, are we at position 0? Do we want the left button to look active or inactive? Do we want the right button to look inactive or inactive? Do we want both to look active, or do we want both to look inactive? And then after that, we have the same for the scroll right function, but basically we just want to make sure that we stop at the end of that as well. Pretty much how the scrolling functionality works. We also now have this great system that allows you to swap between stamping, deleting, and painting. Initially, what I had happening was you could stamp something and with your mouse button 1 and then with your mouse button 2, you could delete something, but I kind of want to move away from that so that we can have mobile functionality as well. Now we have these 3 states for our building system. I haven't programmed the painting system yet, but we'll get to that at some point. I wanted to make sure that I continued to do things on my own and learn new skills. And this week I decided that I wanted to make my own trees for the game. So I figured out how to make my own brushes in Photoshop that could be used for the creation of my trees, just allowing me to make a texture. So here I am taking a very simple leaf model that I modeled with my mouse and not my pen because I just didn't set up my pen yet, but it was pretty easy to make these regardless of using a pen or not. So now we have a cool new brush that I can use throughout the project if I want any leaves anywhere, and you can adjust all of like the different properties like scattering or transparency, and it was really cool. I felt really proud of myself for being able to do this. The great thing about trying to develop a style for your project is that you're going to have a lot of attempts until you finally figure out exactly what you want. This tree model did not make the cut in the end, but I still want to kind of show the process of how many iterations you kind of have to go through in game development at the beginning, but eventually once you figure it out, you can be really proud of your work and just be happy that now you know what you want and you can continue to create really beautiful things. The base of this tree did stick around, but the foliage is kind of where I had the most trouble in figuring out exactly what style I wanted to go for. Insert visual representation of how I felt about this tree at the end. I also made this cool Studio Ghibli feeling tree texture. It was so painterly and beautiful, and I loved all the different colors that I was using in it. I really wanted this one to work out because wow, that was fun and surprising that I was able to create this because I do not paint very often, but this one just felt a little bit too detailed. After all of that, I finally figured out exactly what I wanted, and this is it. This is the one. After adding the new foliage to our tree, I realized that the texture of Roblox wood material just wasn't going to work out for the style that I'm going for, so I decided to create my own wood bark texture for my trees, and I forgot to film my process of actually painting the wood, but it was basically the same thing. I made a brush for it, and then I made a little texture. Here I am just updating all of the tree models with the new texture that we have. Finally, we are nearing the end of this video. I added in a grass texture to our game as well, and now everything is really coming together, I feel like. If you made it this far, and I really appreciate it if you made it this far, comment bananas. Thank you for watching, and I'm so excited to see where I take this in the next video. Subscribe, like the video. Happy week ahead. Goodbye.